Spoodity-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, yeah. Tweedledee, tweedledee-dee-dee-dee. Skiddy-dee, yeah. Tweedledoo-be-doom-doo-be-doom-doo-be-doom-doo-be-dee, yeah. Beep, 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 bow.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. On April 7th, 2020, the Syracuse community lost part of its fabric when Elijah Harris was fatally killed in a hit-and-run accident. Eli's voice can be heard all across events throughout the Syracuse area, strumming his guitar and commanding an audience at all moments. There would be some nights where Eli would have a bigger crowd watching him than the bands that are playing in Syracuse that night. Tonight, we are honoring and paying tribute to a local icon. And since we got a couple MCs on the lens tonight, let's kick this tribute off with a rhyme from Mr. Jack Brown. Jack, take it away.
Well, ancient people used to sit and tell stories around the campfire, using allegories, metaphors, and rhymes, speak with ancestors who were lost in time. Reciting rhymes was a form of release to make peace between the living and deceased. That's the reason that we're playing this song, because even after we're dead and gone, we live on. So this goes out to someone that we lost, one of the most incredible people I've ever come across. Words can't describe what you really mean to each of us. Since we can't speak as much, this is how we keep in touch. Syracuse, where it all got started. Tonight we come together for the dearly departed. Eli Harris Jr., the mayor of Marshall Street. From your 315 family, R.I.P. So, all right, Syracuse, I want to send out some big love right now for Eli. If you're watching right now, let's get those likes going. Let's get those loves going. And let's send out some big love right now. Everybody, come on, send it out right now.
Send it out.
Elijah Harris Jr.
Yeah, Eli.
All right, fam. There is no blueprint for what's going on right now and how to memorialize a local icon like this when something like this happens. And we are just trying to be here to send out some love and healing. And I want to send it out right now because we have a lot of people watching from all over. Shout out to Syracuse.com. And I just want to give a really big shout to Eli's kids who are watching due to what's going on right now. Some of them are in New York City. And I want to send some love right now to Eli's family in New York City who's watching right now, getting to take part in this because they couldn't be at the funeral today. So much love, everybody. And I want to shout out the Syracuse Nation worldwide. It's not just people within 315 and Central New York and New York State. I know we got fam out there, SU, everybody who loves Eli. So everyone, just send out some love right now. This has been killing all of us out here. And I woke up Thursday morning, April 9th. And, you know, I usually just channel a lot of positivity in the morning. And I was feeling angry, feeling sad, feeling down. And I thought about Eli and I wanted to do something special for him. And the first person I thought to call and to reach out to was my brother, somebody who I've known for many years and look up to in this music scene. And now he's a common counselor in the 5th District. Shouts to Eastwood. So give it up for my man, Joe Driscoll, in the house tonight.
Yo, hey.
Yo, big love, fellas. That was a great rhyme, Jack. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's absolute heartbreak. You know, Eli was just a fixture as much as the Dome or any other iconic part of the Cuse, Westcott Street. You know, he was so much, and like you said, it was like from the time I was a little kid, he's been a part of the scenery. So it's tragic to lose him, and in such a tragic way as well.
And that's why we're all here together. We're gathering any way we can because, you know, Eli was out there playing in the streets. Like we said, the entire city of Syracuse was his venue. And this man played to more people than any musician probably ever in the history of this city. And he did it for almost 5 decades straight. I've been doing some research on the story of Eli, and he started in the 80s. So this is a man who his reputation precedes himself, and we just want to give him the love out there. So I thought the best way to get this going right, I want to play some of Eli's music right now. So I'm going to give a shout out to SU for getting us some recordings. And shouts to Hodgepodge 2018 for some of their live work with him. So without further ado, we're going to roll a music video about Syracuse from Eli Harris Jr. And there's going to come a part where it's going to show all the neighborhoods of Syracuse. And if you see your neighborhood, I want you to send out some likes, some loves, and I want to show love to the whole city and the whole state right now. So if you see your neighborhood, show some love, and let's roll it right now. Eli Harris, we miss you, and let's hear some music.
I'd like to do a song about Syracuse. Matter of fact, you know we won the national championship 2003. We did it easily. SYRACUSE. Check it out and listen to me. Syracuse, Syracuse, well, yeah. It was time for celebration. We were number one in the nation, yeah. It was time for celebration. We were number one in the nation, yeah. I called you on the telephone, you were all alone. No one home but you. Syracuse, wanna take you from the moon. Baby, take you to the moon. Let's zoom. If you get there before I do, remember my love will be forever. For Syracuse, yeah. Syracuse. It's time for celebration. We were number one in the nation, yeah. Yeah. Time for celebration. We were number one in the nation, yeah. Check it out, y'all. Carmelo, the mellow fellow Anthony. You see, he danced with me, shook his pants with me. Then he won the big dance, you see. That big dance is history. Syracuse does this to me. Bada bing like Dave Bing. Basketball game. If you get there long before I do, remember my love will be forever. I said forever. For Syracuse, Syracuse, well, yeah. Time for celebration.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. That was SU Champs by Eli Harris Jr. If you love that song right now, let's send out some love for Eli. Come on, everybody. Send it out. So I just want to give a shout out to the artwork in that one of those portraits that was the Space Marshall Street is from Julie Henson Ambrose. And she's going to be put some prints up for everyone who's donating out there for the funeral costs. So I just want to give her a shout. And thanks again, Hodgepodge and Rethink Syracuse. All those neighborhoods out there are from Rethink Syracuse. So we just want to show love to the whole community. If you love this local community and want to keep us strong out here and viable, 315, let's make some noise right now. Send out some love.
Yeah.
And, with that being said, Joe, what'd you think, man? How was the song?
Amazing, dude. Amazing. Always the greatest, still.
Rock on, dude. Well, we got somebody who's going to be coming up next. We got a special message from a friend of yours. So if you want to give him a little shout out before it drops, let him know what's up.
Yeah. You know, Mayor Walsh and I, you know, we're roughly the same age. Kind of came up on this thing together, and it was really great to see him at like the Roots concert. You know, so he's our mayor, but he's also a cat who gets it. And when I reached out to him about Eli, you know, we broke bread and talked about it, and you know, he had a similar mindset.
Awesome, man. So let's play the tribute video from Mayor Ben Walsh going out to Eli right now.
Hey, Mayor Ben Walsh here, and I just want to share some thoughts about our friend Eli Harris, who we lost this past week to a tragic accident. I'm 40 years old, and when I think back on some of my best memories growing up, I think about Eli because he was always there. Some of the best concerts that I went to, some of the biggest wins up on the hill with SU basketball and football, Eli was always there, always smiling, jamming, putting smiles on other people's faces. So as much as losing him hurts right now, I think when we all think about Eli, we should smile, because that's what he did for so many of us for so long. Rest in peace, Eli.
All right, Syracuse, we're back. I just want to say what's up to everybody who's joining in. We're live streaming through Syracuse.com. We're on the Disruption Network. Everyone out there, we appreciate all the love for Eli. This is our virtual concert, our virtual memorial right now coming together. We're just trying to come up with a new blueprint on how to give somebody their props. And we have a lot of Eli's friends from around the area who have sent in some videos to us. Just such an outpouring of love. And I want to thank everybody for sharing and sending us pictures, sending us videos, because Eli deserved the biggest tribute we could possibly give him. Like I said, this guy deserves a statue somewhere, maybe over on Marshall Street. But I mean, this is an icon, absolutely. So we have a lot of great videos coming up. So let's roll some of the guest videos. Take it away, DJ.
I'm Tim Fox from News Channel 9, and I've known Eli longer than I can remember. We've always hung out in the same places: the ballpark, the Carrier Dome, the Landmark Theater, Civic Center. He was part of the texture of this place, part of what makes our town our town. You don't replace that. All we can do is try to keep moving forward, keep his generosity alive, keep that spirit alive. Eli, we love you.
It's a tremendous loss to have somebody like Eli gone from our cultural community. Nothing will really be the same, leaving a show or leaving a game or, walking around Marshall Street or downtown or any Eli's alleyway, any of the familiar haunts, where you might have an impromptu dance party break out with Eli providing the soundtrack. I'm sure we've all taken part in those. So, we're going to miss that brother who gave so much to everybody and really took nothing in return, save for, a couple of busking tips and, lots of love and smiles. So, I wish we had 100 just like him, and I sure will miss him myself, and I know everybody else will.
Probably about 30 years ago, in his little alleyway there outside of Sutter's Mill and Hungry Charlie's and all that, you could see the spark in his eye the first time. You could feel his presence in the world in the moment that a lot of people don't possess or lost at some point in their life. And despite everything Eli went through, that little spark of a joy in being alive was always there. It was always up front and center. And I used to love when he would come into our gigs. If we were playing at Al's or someplace downtown, he would come in and say, "Come on, boys, make me dance." And we would try to, because how could you say no to a heart that big?
Eli was a very kind person. I used to see him all around Syracuse, playing his guitar and singing tunes. I would always try my best to donate to him. One memory I have of playing an open mic with him at Half Penny, him along with Kent Frazier. It was a great night. I will always remember Eli, sad and unfortunate situation that happened to him, just praying for his family. Thank you, Eli.
I'm Chris Baker. I was the music writer for the Post-Standard for about 4 years. But I knew Eli from way before then, like probably everybody else in Syracuse. I think what struck me most about him and what's so incredible about what he did was he performed for more people, for a larger audience than probably any other musician in Syracuse. Hundreds of thousands of people saw him play, heard him play, got to watch him perform. Anyone who ever went to the Carrier Dome, went to the War Memorial, went to the Westcott, went to the Krause-Heinz Theater, Armory Square, if you ever sat outside the Blue Tusk. So many people from around the area and outside the area have gotten to see him play. And he did it all without ever selling a ticket.
We all know him as a local legend. He seemed to be everywhere, and at the same time, it was a great surprise when he showed up. I was always honored to be in his presence. He was light. He was community. I'm really happy that he got the Founders Award in 2019, and he got to be there to accept that award and feel all that. Very sad. He will be missed. We can all learn a lot from what he went through, how he came back, and how he gave back.
Wow. All right. What's up, everybody? Shouts to Tim Fox, Stacy Waterman, Steve Winston, Nate Brown, Chris Baker, and Missy Thomas. You know, what I found was so incredible about this is that, you know, we started reaching out and people started coming to us, and we hit up Tim Fox at News Channel 9, and instantly he was sending us archives and videos from their files over, and, you know, just every, Chris Baker over at Syracuse.com. The second I hit him up, everybody wanted to reach out and help Eli. And that shows you the impact of this man on this city. Joe, how you think? What do you feel about all this?
Yeah, man. I mean, when I think about all the love that brother spread, man, I mean, you think about, like, you know, Cuse games and football games, you used to see just streams of thousands of people coming out of events, and just, you know, a good third of them stopping to get a little love from Eli and just get a little smile and have a little, you know, even folks who couldn't dance, giving a little shimmy shake. So, you know, in so many ways, it's obviously beautiful to see the pouring out of love, but in some ways it's not a surprise, man. That dude has made probably at least a third to a half of Syracuse smile at some point or another. Between the years of 1980 and 2020, you know?
Unbelievable. And, you know, when I thought about it and I started to see what was coming back to us, I realized that our music community cherishes Eli, you know, and we work with him through Syracuse University and many times, many places. And we hold him dear. But that Eli is bigger than the Syracuse music community because he belongs to the whole city. He is Syracuse. I think that's a key point in all of this. Is that he reached even more people. You know, people drive in hours away to come to the games or come downtown or came to visit one time from out of town and caught a video with him. You know, and I do want to say to everyone watching who's not from Syracuse, you know, many cities have numerous street musicians, you know, a lot of them. That's not the case in Syracuse. You know, you check these weather and you check the situation out here, there are not a lot of street musicians who could do it. And generally, for the most of his life, he was the only one going at the time when he played. And
it's a great point.
So, you know, I just wanted to send some love out right now to everybody who's going through it. We're all separate, and there's no way for us to come together and like we're used to. And what do you do when it's time for a funeral or a wake? How can we do this? How do we join together? And we're writing the book live right now, all here together. So thank you to everyone for being here and being with us. And like I said, Syracuse University sent us some clips of some awesome audio recordings from their archives. And one that I came across blew me away because it was about our friends over on Westcott Street. So I want to play another unreleased Eli video and check it out. Here we got Eli Harris Jr. live from Westcott.
If you want to see a show, there's a place that you can go, a spot where you can chill, east of the SU Hill, with music you can feel, when you keep it real. The jamming shows are hot, Westcott, the hot spot. If you want to see a show, there's a place where you can go, a spot where you can chill, east of the SU Hill, with music you can feel, when you keep it real. The jamming shows are hot, Westcott, the hot spot.
All right, we're back. Shouts to the Westcott Theater. We hit up Wes Mateo Johnson, and I had a good talk about Eli. And Joe, you'll appreciate this. We were saying Eli would set up in front of the Westcott. It didn't matter who was playing. It didn't matter if it was emo, dubstep, Grateful Dead, hip hop, old school, new school, didn't matter. And he was setting up and playing his music, his playlist, dropping some Bob Marley, dropping some Don't Worry, Be Happy, dropping some James Brown. And to me, that speaks, we want to say that music is all these different genres and all these little things here and there, but there is a universality to music. And that to me is what Eli's, one of his biggest, most important messages that he left to us is how universal music can be. And he dedicated his life to music like few people I've ever seen or ever meet. So that's why we're doing this. For everyone who's trying to, find out more about Eli, this is a very special individual right here. So just sending out some serious love in this community.
Amen.
So guys, we got a poem in here that we're going to read out loud that was sent in from someone who's known Eli for many years and a wonderful musician in the area. So Susan Royal has submitted a poem that we're going to read right now for everybody about Eli. And she actually recorded it right there. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. is when she posted it, which was right around the time when I was really going through it, waking up that morning. So, all right, we're going to get this poem up right now. I'm going to read it. Last night, I drove around town with my window down. I was searching for the sound of the city. Brother, I was looking for you in the quiet flashing of the lights, from red to yellow to green and back again. I listened for the strumming of your sixth string, the joy only your songs could bring. Nothingness filled the night air, black, cold emptiness in the armory. I waited for you there. So I want to thank Susan for sending that. It's a very emotional time for everybody. And, we use art and music. Think about right now, if you've been going through the last couple of weeks, if you've used music to help you get through it, I want everyone to send out some love right now, some healing. I want to show everyone the power of music, how special, how essential musicians are to everything that we know about peace, love, and freedom in this world. So I just want to send out some love because that's what Eli represented out there. I got some messages also from another one of his friends I want to give a shout out to, Josh Williams out there. Joshua Williams, I'm going to read a little quote of his later, but he sent me a video, and we're going to post it on this when it's over, from Arthur, who is Eli's friend who he served in the Marines with. And Arthur tells a story about being with Eli and how generous he was. And I just wanted to give, a special notice that Eli was a Marine and he served in Vietnam at the peak of Vietnam. And he experienced many traumas and hardships in his life for many, many years, and he played through it all. And he would also do a lot of fundraisers and benefit concerts to help people and to give back to veterans and to talk about anti-drug awareness. And I mean, we're talking about one of the toughest and most resilient people you'll ever meet. And I mean, I was talking to Frank Malfitano. He told me how many times that Eli got robbed, how many times he got beat up, how many times he got hit by cars. This is not the first time. And I remember driving him, we drive him after gigs. If it was raining, things like that, drive him across the city, and so when I think about Eli out there, this man was just the toughest. He's Syracuse strong for everyone out there. And I just wanted to give his props. Because, Eli was a unique person, and we want to give him all his love right now because this guy is just, he has left a mark on this city that will never be the same. That's what we want everyone to understand right now. This won't ever be the same. And even when we go back and we're all in the streets again, his music will be missing from our lives. So that's why we're all here together showing love. And we have some more montage videos that we're going to queue up. So let's bring on some more of Eli's friends and family from out there to talk about the impact he left on them and send a message out to you.
I think it would be unfair to simply say that Eli was a street performer. He was a busker. He was more than that. He was somebody that enjoyed life. He enjoyed making music. He enjoyed entertaining others. And he was a master of it. He was a showman. And his style of performing was infectious. And whether it was outside of the Dome before or after a sporting event, or on Marshall Street, or outside the Westcott, or the Landmark, or down on Armory Square, you could find him everywhere, at any season, almost any time. And, you know, it seemed like he was able to just enjoy the opportunity to be able to play and have the satisfaction of making others happy.
Things I remember the most about Eli, his smile, and the music, and his love for the music, and mostly how he gave those things away so freely. He was just a very special person. He's a very talented person. Always had a hug for me and a hello for me every time I saw him, no matter when it was. He's going to be sorely missed. His energy is Syracuse.
Eli, you gave us permission to get down, wherever it was, any side of town, any sidewalk, wherever, man. You brought people together and you turned them out. Thank you. There's nothing like the joy of the moment of music just cutting across all lines and just that rapture of sound and experience. You're missed. You're missed, man. It's hard to be away from Syracuse, and it's crushing to think that to come home and to not see you, but I still hear you and I still feel you.
I remember the first time that I met Eli. He flashed me this $1 million smile, and from that day on, if I ever saw him anywhere, I would wave and smile at him. He just embodied joy and light and kindness and genuineness and talent. And I feel like those are the things that we love about our music community. And he embodied all of that. And I would want his family to know that he did all those things for us, with us, and we will never forget him.
You know, this is a music community that's loaded with talent and soul and personality and character, and Eli was just all of that and so much more. The students that I worked with at Syracuse University from the Bandier program and across the university on Marshall Street Records recorded 2 albums with Eli, Eli's Alleyway and Eli's Christmas Mission. And I think it meant a lot to Eli to get quality recordings of his work. And I know that was a positive experience for him, but I think more importantly, I hope he knew what a positive experience it was for the students, how much they learned from working with him. And I think that's a remarkable contribution also, that perhaps a little unknown piece of what Eli did for others.
I find it ironic that the streets are empty right now. And because that was Eli's stage. And whenever I look at the news now, it looks like it's a science fiction set. I see all these deserted major cities, Manhattan, Times Square, with nobody in it. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, Eli wouldn't have a place to play. But then again, Eli would find a place to play, because he wasn't just a person that showed up at events, he was a one-man event. He's a great musician, a great friend, someone whose friendship I treasured. I'm really thrilled that the music community is saluting him this week again, as we did a year ago at the Sammys when we presented him with the 2019 Founders Award. No one deserves it more. This is a man who had been through incredible hardship in his life, but still went out night in and night out in the worst of weather to entertain us, to give us everything he had every time out. I have a lot of wonderful memories of Eli, and I just feel privileged and blessed that I was able to be on this earth at the same time as him. I'll miss you forever, Eli, but obviously we'll go on loving you forever.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to thank you for all these messages, all these comments. My phone's blowing up. Everything it's going crazy out here for Eli, and that's all we ever could have hoped for. We wanted this to be as big as possible. We want to send out all that love. That's why we brought our friends along. I want to shout out Dave Frazina, and I want to shout out Charlie Orlando from Funk and Waffles. You know, so many times I'd be hanging with Eli right in front of Funk and Waffles. That's, you know, I'd see them there almost every night, you know, and how about Eli always knowing where the shows were and where the events were? I mean, he was better than some of the calendars out there. We got to give him some props. He was a brilliant man, and anyone got to sit and talk to him knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we also have Brother Goose Hoffman out there in Rhode Island sending his love, and K Mace Productions in the house, and a big shout to SU Professor, retired David Rezick, a good friend of mine who got to help put out Sophistifunk's first album. So shout out to the Sophistafunk crew watching out there and everybody, and we love you. And I just wanted to say thanks to Dave Rezick for letting people know about Eli working with the students. And then last but not least, Frank Malfitano in the house. So Frank, I want to thank you for your message. I know that you have had a close personal relationship with Eli for many decades. And you were, you know, very much involved in each other's lives. And I know that it was you who helped get him the Founders Award. And shouts to Liz Novak and the whole Syracuse area music awards community for being so awesome and on board with this. And we appreciate you. So thank you for getting him that during his life. And we know how special it was for him. And speaking of a special moment, I have a message from one of his friends, Joshua Williams, who would help get him to gigs and drive him around for many years, and who loves Eli like few people out here in this world. And he sent me, you know, a lot of stuff, but I wanted to make sure that this story, because right now we're trying to capture the record, so Eli's family and Eli's friends years from now can watch this video and understand what he meant to this city. So I'm going to read you this from Joshua Williams. Of many stories I'd like to share, I want to share one that meant a lot to Eli. It was August 16th, 2015. I picked up Eli and his son, and we all went to the ballpark. Eli would be singing the national anthem that day. It happened to be a Star Wars day at the stadium. Eli sat next to me in the passenger seat. His son sat in the back. Eli was so excited. It was a beautiful, sunny summer day. He was wearing a suit, and it was warm that day, to say the least. He was so proud to be given the opportunity to sing for his community, his city, his country. He was a giver. He wasn't in it for what he could bring to others, and what he brought was love. His voice was strong all on its own. So many times we heard that strong, rich voice fill up the Armory, the Hill, Westcott. But on this day, he had the microphone, and his voice filled the stadium and the skies over Syracuse. And outer space, too, for that matter. For many of us, he was larger than life. He knew he would earn more money that day than he would on an average day. And being the giver that he was, he told his son he was planning to give him a large portion of his earnings that day. He was a true gem. He was mystical. Many of us here in Syracuse have learned to love the things that make this city great. And for me, Eli was the greatest part of the city. And nobody had more love for Syracuse than Elijah Harris Jr. This is a tremendous loss for the city of Syracuse. But as his friend, I can assure you all one thing that I know, and it's that he loved every single one of you. And remember what he was about. See him smiling. And think about Eli. I love you, Eli. I'll see you again, my friend. So, props, Josh Williams out there. And we're going to be dropping some extra bonus videos. Jess Novak and Ben Wayne just sent one in. Brian Edwards from the Westcott. So we're going to be putting some extra material at the end And just want to thank all the contributors out there and this entire community for coming together. And, I wanted to bring Joe Driscoll here for a very special reason. And we got Joey D in the house. So if you love Joey D, you appreciate his music, let's send out some love right now, everybody. Let's go. Let's get it going. All right. Well, Joe, I wanted to bring you in because I know Eli is a contemporary. I know him where I'm a musician and he's a musician. And we've known each other for years and years. But it's very different than the story that you have growing up as a Nottingham kid, coming up in these streets of Syracuse and hearing Eli. So please just talk to us a little more. I just want to get a little more to the background of Eli and his influence on your life.
Yeah, I really love that, man. And, one of the things I love that you said in the article about Eli, about eulogizing him, was how he was very much an architect of the sound of Syracuse, of the different vibes that have come out. And certainly in my case, at that point, I knew acoustic guitar for playing Beatles songs and Peter, Paul, and Mary and whatever else I was doing. And just riding my bike, we lived on the east side. We grew up near Nottingham, so we'd ride our bikes down to Marshall Street and see Eli playing. And it just blew my little young mind. I was probably 12 or 13. I knew G major, I knew C major. All of a sudden, this guy was doing these barred funk 7 chords up high on the neck, leaving some strings open, doing one-man versions of James Brown and Parliament Funkadelic. And it just totally gave me a whole new, what? I didn't know you could do that with an acoustic guitar. I had no idea that you could do Motown and all this stuff. But also, the thing that when you're talking about the architect of a big influence on the Syracuse sound, he was also very much like a freestyler. There was rap.
Definitely.
Yeah. There was, and if something was going on, he started shouting out people who were watching and people who were involved and getting the crowd engaged. Like a real, when you look back at the origin of hip hop, where it started late 70s, early 80s. MC, Master of Ceremonies. You were just there. There was a vibe going, and you were kind of the concierge of people's energy and vibe, and you were just charismatically saying, "Hey, come on over, blah, 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 blah." And that was Eli. He'd have an improv rhyme and just engage the crowd, and people would circle around him, and just, it was a social event. It was an experience. It was a party. And like we said, the venue was the streets in the city of Syracuse, So, I mean, he was beyond influential to me. And I remember my buddies, I totally had forgotten about this. So, like I said, I washed his hands all the time. I went down there every day. And eventually I got the courage to go and talk to him. And, my boys were like, yo, see if he'll let you play his guitar, blah, 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 blah. And so I finally asked Eli, hey, could I play your guitar for a second? He was like, I don't know you, blah, blah, blah. I was 13 or 14, something like that. He's like, I don't know. Eventually he said, all right, show me what you got. And I busted into Eli's alleyway. I started playing his own tune back to him, and he was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" So that was kind of our first real bonding thing. And then for the next 30 years or so, if I was playing at the Bull and Bear back in the days where I was doing the residency there, I used to do every Thursday there for 2 or 3 years. Eli would, like you said, Eli.
Yeah, we got some good pictures of that. Yeah, definitely. We saw you over there. I remember you at the Westcott bringing them up for set breaks.
Right. Yep. And like you said, he'd be like, if a Cuse game was finished at 7, then the Landmark show got out at 9, and then Joe Driscoll would be taking a set break at 11, and he'd be like, bop, bop, bop. He had it all. Yeah, had it all on lock. So I think, beyond influential for me, I think, it showed me so many things I stole from Eli, not stole, but, that I saw and was like, yeah, I'm incorporating that, the way he rhythmically, he was so intense on the acoustic, like Richie Havens. That's how I ended up starting to play, the toasting, the kind of, party vibe.
Absolutely.
All of it came from Eli in the beginning,
Speaking for Syracuse, man, we can all hear Eli in your playing. And I think a lot to your album with Sekou, the Fire album, that a lot of that rhythmic playing guitar, a lot of your looping, you can feel that spirit of Eli in our music. And if you remember, we went out on tour and people were starting to talk. We were out in the UK doing a run out there, and people were talking about the Syracuse sound. So that's why I had to give a shout out to Eli for being, like you said, incorporating parts of hip hop, soul, funk, whatever was popular music at the time, reggae, making it the party. And that's what Eli brought to us. And he's a forefather, you know, straight up. And that's why I wanted people to understand the background and what a giant this person was in Syracuse. I mean, the influence is crazy. And when I think about him, I just think that he was so selfless when he performed. Like, he gave himself to the crowd. Like, he transcended like few artists I've ever met. Just had, you know, like no filter, just boom. He was there, alive with you. And that's one of the most special things about live music. It's what we all miss right now, you know? So that's what he represents.
And, you know, Jay, if I just tell one more that I'm thinking of, a great story about Eli. I don't know if everyone knows this one, but, you know, Bob Dylan is probably the most elusive artist on the face of the planet. You know, just a guy who never went out for autographs, never went to talk to people. If he ever went out in the crowd, you know, if he ever went out in the street, it was always with like a big hoodie over his head and sunglasses. And Bob Dylan, like, never wanted to be bothered. And one night Eli was playing around this corner from the Landmark on the night that Bob Dylan was playing. And Bob snuck away from his tour bus and sat there and listened to Eli for about 10, 15 minutes. And totally unbeknownst to Eli, it was like, you know, he's like, hey, you got it, man. You got the soul, you got the funk, and blah, blah, blah.
No way. I never heard that one, Joe.
Yeah,
wow, that's great.
Was bigging Eli up. And then, you know, Dylan walked away, and someone came to me. I was like, do you know who that was? He goes, no, you know, because he couldn't tell it was Dylan with the sunglasses on. He goes, that was Dylan. He just walked off his tour bus. So that was one that always, you know, probably the greatest songwriter of all time, gave Eli his props and loved him. So that was like, Jamie, I think Jamie Noter Thomas told me that story first, and then I got it from Eli as well. But that's a killer story too, man.
Yeah, because, you know, Eli was everywhere, and I want to give him a shout. You know, he would work restaurant gigs. I'd seen him come into restaurants and play at night. You know, he had an unbelievably extensive calendar, and just the amount of gigs he played. I mean, Guinness Book of World Records we're talking out here, people. Like, you know, I've heard stories of him on very, very important, you know, tough nights in his life where maybe somebody wouldn't have gone out to play music. He went to the streets to get that healing through music and feel it. And like Frank Maffetano said, calling Eli as a street performer is like calling Picasso a house painter. And he was telling me Eli had.
That's a good one.
That's it. Eli had feel, baby. He was the feel. So I want to thank everybody for coming here and coming together to talk about Eli. One more shout to Joe and Z holding it down in the mothership right now. And a big shout to Todd Williams back behind the boards, who's been helping us set this all up. And we honestly could not have done it without you. And that's the way I feel the Syracuse right now. We could not have done this without you. Thank you for sending us all this love. We wanted to just get it all together in one place and send it out to you. So I hope you enjoyed, everyone. And we got a couple things left. So definitely stay to the end, because we got some really big shout outs coming right now. So
wait, Jack, before we go, though, I got to give a big shout out to not only you, but Joe as well. Because last night, Joe, you did an amazing job with that music tribute, and it was done well, and it was like the Avengers of the Syracuse music scene come together to pay tribute to Eli, which was awesome. So great job to you. And Jack, you really knocked it out of this park for this tribute with him today, man. You put a lot of hard work into this. We were on the phone every day for like a week, and you really did a great job with this, man. So pat yourself on the back. And you really, really showed him a lot of love. And this was an amazing tribute. And it starts with you, my friend. So hats off to you.
I appreciate it. And for everyone out there, this was just the way that I was able to cope with Eli's loss, being here and not being able to see everyone. I just wanted to create something special for everyone out there. And thank you for appreciating that, because all I wanted to do was give Eli a portion of the love he deserves for 5 decades of selflessness on this community, and what he is and what he truly means. And that's why we have actually a message right now coming in from Eli's daughter, Lakeisha Harris, right now. And she wants, but before we get to that, I got another video from Eli's nephew, Calvin Odom. Shouts to Calvin, a friend of mine from Barry Park basketball back in the day. And he sent a video playing. So we're going to roll out with a couple clips from the family of Eli Harris Jr. And then we're going to roll out the credits. And that's going to feature a song that was recorded by Larry Hoyt. And this is an incredible recording. It was at the Westcott Community Center. And it's called Eli Scat. And he captured it live. And we're going to roll out the credits to this. And we'll show all the links you can donate to Eli's fam and to the crew. And I just want to thank the entire Syracuse community, Syracuse.com, everybody out there. And we appreciate you. And if you love Eli, send out some likes, send out some loves right now. And let's take a listen from the family of Elijah Harris Jr. Peace.
Hello, my name is Lakeisha Harris. I am the eldest child of Elijah Harris Jr. First, I would like to thank each and every one of you who has sent a card or your condolences, and even the individuals that took the time to make a video in reference to my dad. And when I say that, I speak for my entire family. Second, I would like to say that I want people to remember my dad for what he loved the most, and that was his music. For him, it wasn't just music. It was music that he had passion for, that he shared with other people. So if it's something you can remember when you think of Elijah and you reminisce of the interaction that you had with him, just remember that he put a smile on your face, because that meant the world to him. Also, I would like to say that I am blessed and honored to be a child of Elijah Harris Jr. And rest in peace, Dad. I love you.
Yeah. Twiddly-dee, twiddly-dee-dee-dee. Skiddy-dee-dee-dee. Tweedly-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-dee. Beep, 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 bow. I'm just getting yeah.